What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. It ain't about Adventure Radio tonight. It's about the Ham Radio Shenanigan Hour. And what better person to do shenanigans with than my Viking meatloaf loving friend, Dan, Whiskey Delta 4, Delta Alpha November.
Shenanigans.
What is going on, buddy?
Man, not a lot. How about you?
Same old, same old. I did a little bit of poter today, and been really busy here in the last little hour. But yeah,
So, a little bit of poter will do you. That's for sure.
So there's probably an elephant in the room, and I'm gonna go ahead and get it off the plate really quick because everybody knows that I'm normally on the Ham Radio Campfire at this time, and I'm not going to elaborate on a lot of things. I'm just going to say that. Currently, there's some issues going on over there. Nothing to do with me in any way, but I don't agree. I don't agree with what's being put out there, and I'm going to have to space myself a little bit from that and make sure and do what's right for myself and all my kingdom. Because when you're the king, you got to space yourself from the drama and stuff like that. So I wish the Campfire the best of luck, and if they get things straightened out with people and stuff like that, that's awesome. But other than that, I am here to do a little bit of shenanigans, I guess. First shenanigan of the night. It's already been pulled on you guys. You don't realize it. It's the Ham Radio Shenanigan Hour, and I started it at 15 minutes after the hour. You're already short 15 minutes.
Everybody was probably thinking, what are these shenanigans? They're late.
Oh, I know it. They're late. Hey, I see a lot of people out there in the chat, and there's still a lot of people out there in the chat that at 6 o'clock, and they're like, where are these guys? Where are these guys? But, yeah. I heard you had a good activation today, buddy.
I did. I was doing a little test of both the Eagle One and an inverted V that I have. I put up about 450 some odd in about 4.5 or 5 hours. So did pretty good. Tore up 20 meters for sure. I kind of wore it out. Started getting a lot of duplicate calls. So.
Nice.
It was fun. It was fun for sure. Did it know Kilo Oscar 4 November Lima neck of the woods. Got on his pine straw a little bit.
Well, you're the hand of the king. You can rove in the kingdom where you want,
That's right.
You got the king's guard with you to wipe out Limas if you need to. Eddie, you better watch out,
Yeah, he has a double kilo over there, so the hand needs to do a little more work. So.
A double kilo. Now, speaking of kilos, I noticed today when I was doing my twofer that I'm coming up on a kilo in the Mothman Park.
Oh.
So the Mon Man is fixing to have a kilo in the Mothman Park. I figure that's going to be a pretty good ending video for that kilo. That sounds like a pretty cool video, I think.
Well, I hope you don't get abducted when you do it.
Well, I hope I do. That would make even a better video.
That's true.
You ever seen somebody get wing barred? I know you've seen arm barred, but have you ever seen somebody wing barred?
No, I have not.
Oh man, that's painful. Anyway, I'm glad you had a good activation. I went out today and did a 3-park rove, and had a lot of fun doing that. I would have done a few more parks, but I had to get back to stream this evening, and I didn't know I was doing this particular stream up until about an hour ago. So I'm sorry for the same intro. I'm sorry that I don't have the Patreon thing updated or the adventure group updated, but you'll have it next week, guys, and you'll have it on the stream on Wednesday. But shout out to both my Patreons and my Adventure Club and my YouTube members. All you guys rock. So we don't even have a topic tonight. So you guys in the chat are welcome to start sending me and Dan questions. If not, we're going to ramble on about shenanigans and this, that, and the other. Probably talk about how Dan likes to eat crazy meatloafs and all kinds of stuff you don't want to hear.
With plenty of ketchup.
So these fools messaged me. They messaged me the other night and said, we're doing a net on 7,200. So I tried. I got on there and tried to hear them, but I could not hear them whatsoever. And I was like, they're just messing with me. They got to hear
No,
me. Which
we
I
were
was
on there.
home. I was home. I could hear them, and I was home. But I don't have the best setup here at the house. You know, when I'm in the field, you can hear me. But at the house, I don't have the same setup, of course.
I got a
So
I got a buddy named Tristan. You need me to get you an Eagle One?
I think I have an Eagle one. I actually got another Eagle one coming,
Yeah.
and the one in my truck is going to replace. Well, I won't say replace here, but it's going to be sitting here at the house as well. But I thought they were just messing with me, so I just started talking trash to them. They were talking about Dan's little getting stuck in the mud thing and this, that, and the other, and I just started talking all in all redneck voice. I was like, "Hey, undercarriage boy, undercarriage, what are you doing out there in the mud, undercarriage?" And I was calling Pee Pee Man half man. I was like, "Half man, hey half man, why ain't y'all talking back to me, half man?" And chances are some of the lids heard me on there, but they didn't hear me.
They weren't even on there. That's why we got on there and started talking. 7,200 was quiet as a church. It was
Yeah,
surprising.
well, I mean, it is Christmas time, and their mom might be down in the basement wrapping some presents, and they can't get to their ham shacks and stuff.
Oh my god.
So that happens quite often. Uh, so
Shenanigans.
gotta love some shenanigans. I know my chat is running slow here.
How was
So
your bacon? Did you have your bacon this morning?
yeah, speaking of shenanigans, Dan here. Everybody knows that when I do a POTA activation, I like to jam out the contacts and get them all knocked out of the way and stuff. And everybody hates. I hate it when there's somebody that'll sit in my pile up and listen to me for 20 minutes, and then they're like, "Hey, what's your call? What grid are you in?" So here lately, Dan's been throwing out the weirdest questions he can to try to take me off my mojo. He'll ask me if I had my bacon this morning, or ask me how many cups are in a gallon is
How
what he
many cups
said.
are in a gallon? Yeah, and
But I thought he said how many cups are in a galaxy, so I threw out an outrageous number to that one. And you asked me, oh, how many chickens does it take to was it kill an elephant?
kill an elephant. Yep.
Yeah, how many chickens was it? And I should have asked him if he was talking about regular chickens or Hawaii chickens, because it would take less Hawaii chickens to kill an elephant than regular elephants, because
That's probably true. Yeah.
they're on a strong diet of cockroaches.
Yeah.
I learned that from Eric.
I actually make it my point in life when I drive to work in the morning. I got about a 20-minute drive. I make it my point to sit there going up the interstate. What am I going to ask James today?
Oh,
That's
good
my whole
stuff.
life.
Good.
I mean, yeah.
I don't blame you. It's my point in life to answer the question for you when you answer me. And I've gotten to where he don't even slow me down. I just answer his questions, and I'm still keeping. He's actually good for me. I'm learning to keep that call sign into my head longer. That I was going to call right after him, and I just keep going. So
It's good for the concentration.
I know my hunters. Speaking of other shenanigans, my hunters last night could not keep their concentration because I heard a couple of Quebec stations. I was like, all right, I got a couple of Quebec stations. So next thing I hear is Kilo 8 Golf Quebec. And I was like, all right, Terry, you're 5'9" and I don't even remember where it was. I go to too many parks. But you're 5'9" here, and he's like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, you're 5'9" at the penitentiary, 73. And I was like, all right, thanks for the penitentiary, the other Quebec station. And the guy just starts laughing, and he's trying to get out his call. And he had the hardest time getting out his call because he was just laughing at what Terry said. And it didn't even affect me. And I just thanked him for the penitentiary and went on. So,
speaking of our conversation the other night about ICP, and I told you I worked a DRE on Saturday. Today I worked an EZE call sign. Isn't that something?
Yeah, I told you there was quite a few EZEs out there.
Kilo Zero.
I really got ICP this morning, actually, when he hunted me. what was his exact way? I said, oh, he come in with his call sign, and it was a good sized pile too. And I heard him. I was like, all right, everybody, turn off the lights. The music's starting. Insane clown posse in the house. 5'9", Bruce. And he just lost it laughing. uh, always a good time.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I always love it when he hunts me.
Oh, dude, Bruce is a super good guy. Last year for Hamvention, he drove out, and it's not real far, a couple of hours for him, but he drove out. I'm not even gonna get into why he couldn't stay at Hamvention or anything like that, but he couldn't stay there. He literally drove all the way out there, paid to get in Hamvention, just to hunt me down and give me a card and meet me and turn around and go back home. And that right there is an amazing person. It really humbled me when he did that. So very cool stuff. All right, let's see what Terry's posting down in here. Oh, Terry, I'm not even going to look on my little screen. I'm going to wait till it shows up on YouTube.
Is that when you did your QRP?
I don't know. I ain't even looking at the comment till it shows up on the big screen. I'm blind as a bat. All right, did you have an Eagle One strapped to your back when you were hiking the other day?
Was that an Eagle One in your pocket, or were you just happy to antenna?
I was just happy to antenna, Terry. That was that was not an Eagle One. Very, very, very cool. I'm taking it you've seen that on the Patreon update video, Terry. I actually went out yesterday and sorry about that. I actually went out yesterday and filmed 1, 2, 3 videos when I did that QRP activation. So I got a lot of work that I got to do.
How did it feel having a little peepee?
Well, I don't know how Mike does it. I don't know how he walks around with a little peepee like that all the time because, I'm used to being able to push right through.
Well, he hunted me today on 20 and came in 5'8" with audio that sounded like he was sitting beside me. He sounded great, and I think that was on his new KX3.
He sounds really good on the radio.
Sounds excellent.
Man, I know last night the bands were absolute trash.
Oh, they were.
I mean, just absolute trash.
They were hot today, that's for sure. I liked it.
They were good. They were good this morning. So definitely good this morning. When I hit the 2 for this morning, it was what time was it? 11ish maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And they were hot. Well, you got me park to park.
Yep, PB said the KX3 is king. You might have some competition using the word king, but yeah.
Yeah, that word is not usable by a jester, except for when he's talking to his king. So be careful, jester.
It's definitely a really good sounding rig there, for sure.
Yeah, he sounds good on it, that's for sure. But I've always been able to get Mike on most of his rigs ever since he says there's times that he can't get me, but I don't know about that.
I couldn't hear him at all on 40, but 40 was running pretty short for me here. So Bobby Evans, hey buddy, how you doing?
So not only was 40 running short for you today, last night it was super, super long. And that's why you guys couldn't hear me on the 7200. But I was slaying Maine and Florida last night on 40.
Wow.
Just absolutely terrible. It was funny because it wouldn't hit nothing in between the two. All the calls were either Florida or Maine.
20 started off short for me early. I was getting a lot of Florida on 20, which doesn't happen very often for me. And then it went kind of long. So it was actually a good little mix. Oh, short PP syndrome.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't have no clue where Hayden is at tonight. I've sent him a couple of messages, and he's MIA, I believe. I don't know where he's at tonight. So we'll have to find him before tomorrow, because for my Patreons, I do want to remind you, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern is the Patreon Christmas party. We'll probably do that in the happy hour after dark room. But you definitely want to show up for that. Everybody show up, and the ones who did the secret gift exchange, make sure and bring your gifts, and we'll open them up tomorrow night. So
I want to know what Robbie Camp Poda get.
what, Robbie? Yeah, it was cool because people was getting gifts with Robbie Camp Poda and Ed Warp and
Ed Warp.
And please copy Kyle's in the chat and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I worked Please Copy Alpha Zero Zulu just a while ago.
I just want to say that speaking of Kyle, he's probably got my favorite call sign now, because I've been practicing for my CW activation. Mm-hmm. So I've been practicing, certain calls that I might get, and Kyle's in my top secret activation room. And so I was like, and Kyle has the easiest call sign ever to send.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so easy.
Eddie's McActivating. Oh, shenanigans.
Eddie's McActivating. What park is Eddie activating? Because it might be one in Georgia I need. And if that's the case, Dan's going to have to run this show. Let me get it. I've got I think I'm like halfway done with Georgia hunted. So
if you leave when you go down to Florida, if you leave a month early, you can just work all of Georgia on the way down.
Oh, just to leave a month early.
Yeah, don't take the train. Go ahead and get your wheel bearing fixed and just work all of Georgia.
Well, I'm still not sure whether I'm taking the train or not. I probably will, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. So
hopefully it doesn't run late like it did last year. You were talking about where you had to haul butt to get into a park.
The 4 hour wait was horrible. Well, I mean, I'll do one the night before, the late shift anyway, to have that knocked out of the way. Not that I have to worry about, because the challenge is open for me in like, say, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days from now.
That's right. Yeah.
I can quit then, right?
You can also, you can run FT8 from the train too, and do it that way, I guess. That would
be. I couldn't have my no make activator shirt on if I was doing that. It blocks all fake activations. You didn't know that, did you? When I sent you one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you should try to wear that. Try to wear that shirt and go to McDonald's and activate it. Your radio just won't even fire up.
What's the name of the cages that block RF? Somebody
Faraday cage.
Yeah. Yes. So the shirt's like a Faraday cage. Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Can you send one to
don't you say it on my stream.
W8 truck. Oh Lord.
Yeah, you ain't even right.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Can train tenna. Can train tenna. That's a good one.
I probably could with a G90. I think I'll tune anything. I could just go in the bathroom, man. I'd hate to see the calls I typed in the log, because you ever rode a train?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever used a bathroom in one?
No.
Okay. You remember back, when you was 21 and used to go to the bar every single night, and at the end of the night you was going into the bathroom to pee, and you sit there and you just had that sway back and forth.
Yeah. Okay.
You feel the best in the world when you're doing that sway in the bar. When you're not drunk and doing it in the train and for no reason, it's not the same feeling at all. You know, I'm like,
Is it
I should be drunk right now, and you know, have somebody outside the door waiting on me that I'm going to regret tomorrow morning. You know,
yeah?
and it's not that feeling at all. You just walk out and you go back to your seat and sit. I think if I do take the train, I think I'm going to get a room on the way down from Washington to Florida, because it's not bad, but it's you you don't know who else is going to be on the train.
That's true.
Yeah, you ever heard about the movie Throw Mama from the Train?
Yes.
Okay. Well, on the way back from Florida last year, speaking of shenanigans, there was a guy, and I can't remember where we picked him up. We picked him up. I think we picked him up somewhere, maybe Jacksonville. And this guy was going to DC. Now it's evening on my trip back. I think I got on the car. I think I got on the train at like 4:45 in Florida. So I'm like, oh, cool. I'm gonna sleep all the way to DC. You know, this clown, and they have quiet hour too. It's like a state park. 10 o'clock, you're supposed to be quiet, and then you got that ham radio adventure guy over there with his radio jamming, and he won't shut up. He's not nice like the pee man. Yes, yes, sir. I'll turn my radio down so your wife don't throw you out of your trailer. I was nice too, but I told pee man if it was my camp, I wouldn't have been. Anyway, so this cat all night long carried on and carried on and carried on. And you know, they have, you know, I don't know what you call the and they're not flight attendants because we're not on the flight. The train attendants or whatever.
Attendants, yeah.
They come through there ever so often. And the dude that was on night shift, he really didn't care. He just let it happen. Well, about 4 a.m., they switched people. And this lady took over. And every time she came through, she'd tell dude, you need to settle down. There's people trying to sleep. It's quiet hours. You need to settle down. Well, finally, I guess it was about 8 o'clock. She told him, she said, if I have to tell you one more time to settle down, the next stop will be your last. And I can't say exactly what he said because I'm on YouTube, but he said things that only an 80-meter person would say to that lady. And she never said a word to him. She just walked off and went to the cart, and he carried on just the way he was. We get to the next stop. The train stops. 4 state troopers walking that sucker and tell him, come with me. And he makes this big scene with them as he's going out the door, and he says, throw mama from the train.
You should have had a video.
I laughed so hard when he said that. It was hilarious. But I mean, I'm sitting there thinking like, because it was Cary, North Carolina, is where we dropped him off at. He was
that explains it all.
He was on his way to DC, and we left him in Cary, North Carolina. How do you get, you know, because a lot of people's traveling just don't have the money to buy some other means of transportation, you know, when you get kicked off.
Yeah, what do you do? I mean, at that point, if you get kicked off the train, do you have to buy another ticket, or, you know?
I don't know what you'd have to do, but it's kind of like closing time. You don't have to go home, here. But you can't stay here, you know.
Get you an Uber.
Funny stuff. Karens can get stupid. Yes, they can.
Let's see. Kyle says it's less work than taking a poop in an airplane with turbulence. I can see that. You know,
I don't think the taking the poop part would be hard for me. I think it would be the wiping part that I'd be worried about with the turbulence.
Yeah.
You know, and people join the Mile High Club. They're like, oh, you just go in the bathroom. I'm like, That
You
thing's
can,
barely
yeah.
big enough for me to walk in.
Tell you one
Like,
thing, you ain't getting no big girl in there for sure.
you know, speaking of shenanigans and speaking of big girls, I'll have y'all know I once dated a big ugly girl. She was from Big Ugly, West Virginia. She was a big ugly
Oh.
girl, right?
Did she
I
have her
love
own kilo number or?
it. Sure did. 7047.
Nice.
People do call me the Big Ugly Activator. Oh Lord, what is Smoking Ape saying? Smoking Ape's real name is Clarence. Before I even put this up, his name is Clarence, and he does not live in Nebraska. He lives in the deep mountains of West Virginia and plays banjo music.
In
I've, I've,
moonshiner
I've,
country.
I've caught him in his natural habitat before. So
That's what the handles are for. Just hold on to the sink knobs.
like I don't know. Those train bathrooms are small, but I think planes are a lot smaller than train bathrooms. Even I don't think they should make bathrooms that are so small that if you sneeze, you can knock yourself out in the bathroom. I mean, because that would be just like the most embarrassing thing, like them find you just killed over in the bathroom, knocked out, pants down around your ankles. I mean,
What the heck happened to you?
I
I
mean,
sneezed.
then they're like, oh, he's a YouTuber. He probably just come from Huntsville or something.
He was just making a TikTok video.
Oh, everybody wants me to get big on TikTok, but I just can't never remember to do it. Like I'll sit there and film. I filmed 3 videos yesterday, 3 videos while I'm out, and I can't remember to film one 30-second TikTok video while I'm doing it.
Get the boys to help you. They did a fantastic stream the other night. It was so excellent. I actually went back and watched it again like twice. So
They did a
very
really
good.
great job. I look forward to their stream every quarter. That was the first one to start the thing off, but banjo music is great. It is great. But Ape, you would probably be the man that could wire my CW paddle up to send dueling banjo music when I'm hitting it.
Oh, that would be nice.
That'd be great. Send CW in dueling banjo tones.
You need trumpet horns on one of your voice recorders too.
So I've been hunting all week. Every activation I've done, I'll go to the spots after I'm done or before I start and see if there's anybody on CW that I can hear. And I've been hunting. I mean, of course, it's easy because I look at the spotting page. I know their call sign.
Yeah,
I
right.
ain't got to worry about deciphering that. All I got to hear is my own call sign. If I don't know my own call sign, I haven't practiced very much at all.
That's what I do when I'm hunting. If I hear my call sign or part of it in a question mark, I'll repeat it. And then if I hear my full call sign, I give myself a thumbs up. And then I wait for the signal report. And I wait for a BK. And then I send them a signal report to 73 and say,
you said more than I do. You said like literally to hunt a POTA activator, you got to be able to hear your call sign, a question mark, like you said, and 5 in.
Yeah.
That's all you got to be able to hear. You don't have to, none of that, the rest of it, it's all irrelevant. If you heard that stuff,
yep,
you know you're in their log.
If you ask me anything else, like what's the weather, I'm just staring at the dang radio like a deer in the headlights.
That's like Bill Brown. He sends me messages like, I asked you if you were in a park and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, okay, 2 reasons why this is dumb, Bill. 1, you know I'm in a park. 2, I don't understand half of what you're saying.
I'm not good enough at CW yet to ask you how many chickens it takes to kill an elephant. So
like all my part, that's like today I made the mistake of hunting somebody when I was in a twofer, and I was like,
Mm.
I can't tell him I'm in a twofer because he's not going to understand I'm in a one for me.
Send him an email.
And so all I did was I posted on the daggone spotting page. Thanks for the park to park from, and I put the 2 park numbers and hope he saw it. Because otherwise I'll get credit for one of the park to parks. Because as long as we both log at the same time and we're both in the park, we'll get credit for one of them, but we won't get credit for both of them unless he saw it. So
I wonder which one it gives you credit for in that situation. Is it the one you spotted, or does it just pick like whichever one is lower in number, or random, or what? That'd be a good question for the devs.
That would be a good question for James. I don't think I've seen him in the chat tonight, but that would be a good. I'll have to ask him that question. Oh, speaking of shenanigans and spotting at twofers, I got mad last week because somebody changed my park number, because even though it was the other park I was in, it caused a bunch of hunters to re-hunt me because they thought I had switched parks.
Yep.
But today they did that whole thing of they kept re-spotting me after I went QRT. And finally I went on there and put QRT means QRT. And nobody re-spotted me after that. Look, it's cool to respot people, but there's no need to do it after their QRT.
I wonder how much of it is lag in the system, though, or if people are just intentionally doing it to.
I think it's more of they don't read the comments. They just go there and hit respot.
I will say respotting you after your QRT is much better than you being active and somebody spotting you QRT.
Nah, I've had that happen too.
Yeah. I thought when you spotted somebody QRT, that meant that it took it off the page.
No, it'll stay there for 30 minutes.
That was somebody's reason of why they were doing it.
Okay.
They were confused on the directions at the bottom. It says, mentioning QRT will mark this spot, whatever it says in the spot comments there. But
yeah, so everybody doesn't know that. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say their name. They are in the chat. I taught somebody that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Your spot will stay up exactly 30 minutes from the last spot. No matter what the last spot says, it can say, I'm going to be here all day. I'm gone. Don't bother me. Whatever the last spot says, you got 30 minutes and that spot will go away. So if at 29 minutes after you went QRT, Dan comes by and spots you with meatloaf, it's going to be there for another 30 minutes. I've literally got to parks that are 30 some minutes away, and I get there and I'm pull up in the spotting page, getting ready to spot myself, and I was active at this fast park a minute and a half ago. Yeah, people's going to think I'm McActivating. Oh, good stuff.
And I think even after you mark yourself QRT as an activator, you'll still see your spot up at the top for 30 minutes, even though it's QRT. And even after it goes away, if you respot yourself at the same park, it'll keep all your spot comments and things like that. So it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, the spotting is good. What is the reason that you choose to put a specific park from a twofer or a threefer? I don't really choose a specific park. The point is, when I put, like this morning, I was at 4572 and 1823. I put 4572. So if 30 minutes in, somebody goes back and says, oh, well, he's in 1823 too, and they respot me in 1823, everybody who spotted me, or everybody who hunted me at that 4572 that didn't pay attention when I'm saying two parks or you're 5'9" at 4572 and 1823, they rehunt me. Because when the day that happened, I had 4 people straight, and I'm like, what's going on? Because these are people that don't make mistakes like that. And they're like, oh, I guess I didn't write it down. Oh, you're in a new park. No, I'm not. I'm still here. And then I go to the spotting page and I see why. So it's not that I choose a specific one, although I don't know why I do choose a specific one when it's out. I always choose the Lewis and Clark Trail because for some reason people will jump on the Lewis and Clark Trail faster than a normal park. I don't
Really?
know why.
Hmm.
It just seems like that everybody wants the Lewis and Clark Trail for some reason.
Well, it's always helpful when you do spot yourself instead of sitting there calling CQ for 10 minutes wondering why nobody's there.
Well, I always do spot myself, but here's the thing: once I hit spot, you know how people come.
Yeah.
I spot myself in Discord first, so I've already probably got people on the way by the time I'm hitting spot on POTA. So I switch over to my log page and I'm getting ready to go, and then I've got only 20 contacts. What's going on? And I go back to the POTA page and it didn't even spot me. It does that to me a lot. Or Larry will pop in and be like, "Hey, you want me to spot you?" I'm like, "Yeah, please."
Yeah, so, like I should have a spot, but yeah, go ahead.
Doesn't always do it. All right, let's see. What time is it? Because I don't want to.
Great American Radio.
No. Now he's got a good QRP signal. I'd like to have a QRP contest with him and the PP man.
Oh yes.
He's got a great signal. David, what QRP radio do you use and what antenna? I'm curious. I know what PP man uses. I want to know what David uses. Of course, I'm looking at the StreamYard comments, and it'll take forever for that to show up.
A G90 WRC Soda Edition.
He uses the G90.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that
sounds good.
For him to be using a G90 and a Wolf River Cold Soda Edition, that thing sounds phenomenal at 1 watt. Now,
I think
I'm sure
too much power.
Yeah, I don't think you can run under 1 watt on the G90. I have one, but it ain't been turned on in a while.
You need to put an attenuator on your transmit side there, buddy. Too much power over there.
Yeah. Wow, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed.
That would be a good idea to have a 1 watt QRP competition.
That might be something I have to do. I might have to do that. BP man, you might have to road trip. You can drive to West Virginia, and I'll drive down south, and we'll go down, and we'll do a comparison. The super expensive K3 versus
that's a pretty looking radio though.
Versus the G90. Well, I mean, it is pretty, but PP Man's turned it into an octopus. You gonna start a QRP club? I think the girls in high school already started that, Mike. It's called the Friend Zone.
You've been friend zoned. That's for sure. Hey, Steve, I don't think I heard you today, buddy. If you were calling me, I didn't hear you. And thank you for the QRZ page thing.
Oh.
Let me look and see. Doesn't ring a bell.
How did you not hear him? I got him in my log.
I mean, I don't have that nice DX10 with those roofing filters either. Yeah, I got you today, buddy.
Listen,
No, I didn't.
Speaking of the filters on that thing, yeah, you know when you get the rolling noise that comes in, and it just sounds like this big tornado of wind over top all the hunters.
Yeah.
Well, that happened at one point today on 40, which don't happen a lot to me on 40. It normally happens to me on 80. And I was like, I can't do nothing for the moment. I'm just sitting here and play. And I started playing around, and all of a sudden, I cleared that noise totally out. And I was like, oh my goodness. and I started getting people again like crazy, and then I was like, this thing is just stupid sick.
How did you clear
So
it out, with the contour or some other way?
with the contour and the notch.
Gotcha.
So it was actually just totally playing, but it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's the best way to figure it out. I don't read manuals for anything really. So.
All right, so we're coming up on the top of the hour, and I know somebody is streaming at 7 o'clock, so I'm not going to interfere with that. Dan, what do you got coming up, man?
Well, more POTA on the weekends, and do some more testing on my Eagle One. And so far, I'm loving it. But that's about it.
Awesome, and a Patreon Christmas party tomorrow for you.
That's right.
And myself, I've got to edit all them stupid videos that I shot yesterday. There's some good ones in there, though. I promise you that. There's some good videos, fun stuff. And I will be streaming on Wednesday, as always. And I'll be back here next week for the second episode of the Ham Radio Shenanigan Hour. And actually, I'll be more prepared since I actually know what's going to happen then.
Shenanigans.
I'll probably even have us our own intro and everything. And who knows? Maybe our Shenanigan Hayden will be back. And speaking of shenanigans, your green screen just looked in. Somebody just looked in.
Oh, yeah. Probably a child.
It was definitely. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. You guys have a good evening, and go check whoever's next. It's probably Tank or Charlie, more than likely. So head on over and check them out. 73, everybody.
See ya.